Hello and welcome to The Faith Life. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kev and I am a youth worker. I'm very excited to say that in partnership with Holy Trinity Church Nailsea, we are back. That's right. Each week we will have a chat about how things are going, as well as having a small faith slot to see what the Bible has to say. Today's topic, I'm sure, will come as no surprise. We are, of course, talking about COVID-19, otherwise known as the coronavirus. Now, it's impacted each and every one of us, whether it's in a small way or in a big way, whether we are on lockdown, whether we are self-isolating due to either having the virus or living with somebody who is or has had the virus. We may be classed as at risk, or know someone close to us who is, and that is quite a scary place to be. I myself have been affected by the virus, having had many of the symptoms, and our National Health Service's non-emergency number confirming that it was more likely than not COVID-19. Now, just to give you a little brief kind of rundown of how that impacted me, I felt absolutely terrible. I was bedbound for over 4 days before being able to have enough energy to even make it out of bed. I had to have help just getting to the bathroom. It was absolutely awful. Now, my symptoms were not severe, thankfully, but it did definitely highlight to me how it can easily affect people that are more vulnerable than myself in a really bad way. And demonstrated to me the importance of the guidelines and the lockdowns that are in place. Thankfully, I am feeling much better, but it definitely, as I say, highlighted the importance of not only looking after ourselves, but also looking after each other by listening to the idea of social distancing. And this is what I want us to focus on today: social distancing. Two words that I'm sure we've heard a lot. And it may be something that we're a bit like, not social distancing again. But that's what I want us to talk about at the moment. We are in a very, very odd time. Especially here in the UK at the moment, what with us being on official lockdown and only being allowed out for certain reasons. This has the potential to make us feel pretty darn rubbish. We can't see our friends, and we can't see some of our family. We're cooped up inside pretty much all day, and we may not have that much to actually do. Now, I know that schools have closed, universities have closed. If you had GCSEs, those aren't happening anymore. So it's crazy. There might not be that much to do. I know schools are giving work home for students to do. Is that going to take you all day? I don't know. Is it? You tell me. Obviously, I hope that these videos will help in some small way, but what else can we do? Now, this is where I think we can actually do something. I think it is, of course, very important for us to practice social distancing, and I think I need to hammer that home. It's very, very important that you distance yourself from other people that are not in your household, just because of how quickly and easily this virus does spread. But I do think it is equally important that we practice being social distantly. We're very, very fortunate to have such easy access to technology, and there are so many ways to be social distantly. Just this weekend, I got our youth group together for our Sunday morning youth group, and it was great to see them all. We did a Zoom call and had them all in, and I'm pretty sure they enjoyed being able to hang out with us, the leaders, and with each other as well. They may not admit it, but I'm pretty sure they enjoyed themselves. And that's something that we're hoping to do every week. And the more we do it, the better we'll get at it, I'm sure. Just because we can't hang out in person, it doesn't mean that we can't hang out. Here are some ideas on how you could be social distantly. You could Zoom call with a group of friends and just catch up. You could even hook up a board game to a camera and play a board game via Zoom. Or maybe you've got the House Party app, you could jump into that and catch up with one another by chatting and also playing some of the games that are built in there. Or perhaps you're a bit like me and you like your video games, so why not jump into a party chat with some friends and just play some video games? There are so many options, and I think it is really important that we keep in touch with one another during these crazy, crazy times. You may have heard the old cliche that church isn't the building, it's the people. Well, it may sound super cheesy, but it actually is true. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump into the Bible and take a look at Acts chapter 2, and we're going to be reading verses 42 to 47. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer. Everyone was filled with awe at the many wonders and signs performed by the apostles. All the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. Every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favour of all the people. And the Lord added to their number daily those who were being saved. Here we can see that the church gathered together and they had everything in common. They shared not only their possessions, but also their lives with one another. They had food together and they praised God together. We can see here that being together and socialising with each other is super key, not just as Christians, but also as human beings. We aren't built to be alone, and it can have massive, massive impacts on our mental health. The early church had it down. They knew how important it was to hang out together, and it's something that the church still recognises is really important today. We are called to be the body of Christ, with each doing its part, but for a common purpose, to glorify God. This is something that we're still called to do today, but in a new way. There are so many ways that we can still connect and be social with each other. And at a time like this, it's really important to do so. Through our interactions virtually, we can still be spreading the love and hope that we Christians have in Jesus. So why not make it your personal challenge this week to connect with some friends or family or both? Do it virtually and just hang out with each other in whatever way suits you, whether it's a Zoom chat, whether it's via the House Party app, or whether it's jumping on to play some video games. Find a way that works for you and let me know in the comments below how you're being social distantly. I can't wait to see the various ways in which you guys are hanging out, and I will be flicking through those comments to see the wacky ways in which you guys are hanging out virtually. Now that brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have found this helpful. Don't forget to comment how you're socialising with each other in these weird times. If you've enjoyed the video, then please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more, and don't be afraid to share the video with those that you know. Feel free to also drop me a follow over on Instagram and Facebook. The links for all of that stuff is in the descriptions below. All that's left for me to say is I hope you all have a wonderful week, stay safe, and get socialising distantly. Until next time, my friends.